today's show.
The Grizzlies are ready to blow it up, but who is more likely to be traded? Mike Conley or Marc Gasol?
Are the Pelicans a buyer or a seller? Should Dirk participate in the three-point contest? Who's had the better career, Iggy or Melo?
And we examine the Raptors' handling of Kawhi and his load management.
It's Wednesday, January 23rd. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Old Number 7 and Tennessee Honey. I'm Jay Skeets, alongside me as always, Tass Mellis. Alongside him, that's the Aussie Lee Ellis, and over yonder, well, that's the bearded one. That's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-yo! TK, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag The Starters. And guys, have you ever been so mad that you wanted to tear your own clothes off? Yeah, me too. And so apparently has Luka Doncic, who pulled off the classic jersey rip last night. After struggling through the first half against the Clippers, there's nothing quite like tearing off your own clothes to show off that rage. And it brings us to today's question. What is your favorite moment of on-court rage? For instance, I love it anytime somebody throws a mouth guard into the stands, especially the time Enes Kanter did it with the Jazz a few years back. Gets upset about a foul call, chucks the mouth guard, but don't worry, some lucky fan found Enes Kanter's used mouth guard. He's like, oh wait, that's my guard. Somebody go pick it up. And all was good again. But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter. What's your favorite moment of on-court rage? Send us your best tweets to hashtag The Starters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, get those tweets in. On tonight's show, we're going to discuss Dennis Smith Jr. Returning to the Mavericks. Trey and I are going to step into the crossfire. We got a very solid play, but let's start with a little what you got. You know how this works. Trey, let's go.
Mike Conley and Marc Gasol have been Grizzlies as long as they've been in the NBA, but it seems grit and grind is truly coming to an end, as ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that for the first time, Memphis will be listening to trade offers on their two stars. They're both in their 30s on big contracts, so guys, who's more likely to be traded, Conley or Gasol? What you got?
I can't believe it's actually coming to an end, but I think undoubtedly the answer to this question that we're asking, it's Marc Gasol.
Really?
Yeah.
I disagree, but you go what?
Well, because he's almost 34 years of age. He's definitely past his prime. And he could be a rental for the team that's trading for him. So
Could be.
Yeah, he has a player option. Yeah, but so what can the Grizzlies really expect back? I think they'd be demanding a heck of a lot more for Mike Conley. Right. So there's going to be some wheeling and dealing there. But with Marc Gasol, I think it will probably be pretty quick. You really can't expect all that much for a guy who's 34 in 6 days and could be a rental.
Yeah, that's fair, but, I mean, other teams looking at both of these guys, one, Conley is the better player. I mean, he's still a borderline all-star. He plays a position that there might be, excuse me, I'm still sick. He might be playing a position that there is more demand of at the point guard
position. Yeah, but there are a lot of teams that have point guards.
Yeah, no, you're
but
right.
He can play off the ball, I think, which helps his case.
Yeah,
sure he can. Yeah.
And he's a solid still defensively.
Yeah.
I just think there might be more interest. And look, okay, the Grizzlies are in a tough spot here. They're finally going to move on. Now, what do you want to get back when you trade like a big contract guy? You want some sort of cap relief if you can get it, like flexible, financial abilities. You want some young prospects if you can, and then you hopefully on top of that want draft picks. Now, are the Grizzlies going to get all three of these things with either of these guys? Unlikely because of their contracts. I think when you come into play with both of them, but they could get two of them, and I think that's why Conley is more likely. If they're really moving on here, and it sounds like they are, then you're just going to get more back, is what I'm getting at, for Conley than you are Marc Gasol, in my opinion.
You should.
Yeah.
You definitely should.
Yeah, no, I think it is Conley as well, just because he is younger and he can provide a little bit more long-term joy to your team, I guess, because Marc Gasol, we're not really sure how much...
Marie Kondo situation.
We're not quite sure how much longer he's really going to be an effective player. Both of them started off really well this season, but clearly Marc Gasol's best days are behind him. He's still an effective defensive player, but not as good as he was when he won Defensive Player of the Year. Neither contract is all that appealing to the team that takes them on. They've both got substantial money still owed to them. And Marc Gasol can opt into his $25 million for next season, which you think, of course, he's going to do that. Why would he turn that down? He's not.
Well, some people think he might chase his one final contract and
possible.
opt out of it and try and get like a Kyle Lowry type of deal where it's longer years.
Yeah, sure.
It's in play.
It's in play, but that also maybe depends on where he goes. He might want to go to a team that is a contender, because you think both of these guys are going to make a preference of wanting to go to a team that is contending, and you only think teams that are contending are going to want these guys. You don't want to go to a rebuilding team. That doesn't help anybody out. But both of them have had playoff success. They know how to win. It's just whether or not they can still do that for another team coming in halfway through a season.
All right, so
I would say Conley myself.
you go Conley,
Yeah.
I go Conley. Tass is leaning towards Gasol. What's the answer here, Trey?
I think Gasol as well. Slightly shorter deal, slightly cheaper. Maybe a change of scenery does him good. Maybe it's good for his garden. We shall see. But for now, let's talk about fingers. Because earlier today, Adrian Wojnarowski reported that Anthony Davis met with a hand specialist and could return from his broken left index finger as early as next week. New Orleans is 12th in the West. The AD trade rumors are always swirling, and the deadline is just 15 days away. So at the deadline, guys, will the Pelicans be buyers or sellers? What you got?
Pelicans are always buyers.
Yeah.
They're always buying. When you got Anthony Davis under contract, you've already sort of dug yourself into this hole. You're a top-heavy team that's trying to make Anthony Davis happy. You trade your pick every year.
Yep.
Just keep doing it. Trade that pick and trade possibly a younger player on your team for Mike Conley. I think that's in play. You could
maybe.
play Conley alongside Drew Holiday, a first, and Randall, and some of the other fodder on your team. A Solomon Hill could get it done. I think there's a legitimate option there.
Yeah, the only problem with Conley is then you're taking on his contract as well.
Yeah.
They've already got Davis and Drew Holiday and I'm forgetting someone, Mirotic, I believe it is, who's got...
He's a free agent this year.
He's a free agent. Anyway, the point is that the Pelicans, in order to buy, they probably have to sell something of value, and if it's not that draft pick, then who do they give up on? Is it Julius Randle already? I don't think so. I mean, he's been good for them. So Dell Demps has to find a way of not weakening his position, but getting in a stronger player in return, and that's going to be difficult for him to do without giving up something.
Yeah, that's fair. But like Tass is saying, the Pelicans under Demps have been buyers at the trade deadline. 2 years ago, we were at an all-star party when the news broke that DeMarcus Cousins was suddenly coming to New Orleans. Last year, he somehow turned Omer Asik and a pick into Nikola Mirotic, who's been very, very solid for that squad. So can he do it again? Look, he's going to try and probably take a home run swing. That would be like a Conley, maybe a Bradley Beal. I don't see it happening from Washington side of things. Or does he try and slap a double into the field there and get like an Otto Porter Jr., one of the magic wings guys in a Terrence Ross or a Jonathan Simmons? I think he's got to try and do something because the Pelicans are slowly starting to fall back here in this Western Conference race, and you're trying to keep Anthony Davis happy. You're trying to keep him there and sign him on the dotted line, that massive extension that they're going to throw in front of him in the summer. And you see their schedule here. This is their next 7 games. Yeah.
After Detroit, it gets real hard.
Yeah.
It gets very tough.
They're going to be buyers. I think they have to be.
Yeah, I agree. They're only 3 games out, but you could easily fall off. And some good news on the Anthony Davis front. He could just be out just over a week instead of the reported 2 to 4 weeks, so that helps. But with Anthony Davis, you just don't get too many of those opportunities.
Yeah.
You don't get too many opportunities to go to an all-star party like we did a couple of years ago. When we heard that.
What a party.
You got to go every year. That was a good party. Hopefully we get a good one this year. But I imagine they're gonna keep buying. They got to make Anthony Davis happy.
All right, Trey, what's the answer to this?
The Pelicans are going to be buyers, and we're partying at All-Star again. We're coming for you, Charlotte. But we haven't stepped inside the butcher shop for a while, so come take a look at the new cuts that came in last night. Out in Phoenix, Gorgui Dieng elbowed Devin Booker in the head, which set off a confrontation that ended with both players ejected. Dieng telling Booker to meet him in the tunnels, and Booker sprinting off to do so. In OKC, Russell Westbrook was trash-talking all the Blazers, whether it be Damian Lillard at the free throw line, Yusuf Nurkic after a fast break bucket, or Evan Turner after the game. Guys, which was the tastier beef? Booker versus Dieng or Westbrook versus all the Blazers? What you got?
Well, it's tough. I'm actually going to go with the Westbrook Blazers beef. Westbrook right now is beefing with everybody.
He wants to fight anyway.
He was just getting into it with Joel Embiid, both on the court and then off. Now it's the Blazers. My favorite part of Westbrook versus the Blazers last night was the weird, ha-ha off we had between Westbrook and Nurkic. I can't ever remember seeing this. Westbrook dropping ha-has. He missed the shot, so Nurkic comes back with the ha-has. That's incredible.
That's why we need an audio-only channel to hear stuff like that. That was amazing. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, it's hard to go past that one because there is a little bit of history and a bit of tension there. The thing with Devin Booker and Gorgui Dieng was it just came out of nowhere, and then it escalated so quickly, and then they wanted to fight in the tunnel.
Yeah.
You don't
They were
really...
just exchanging jerseys.
Well,
Lee.
apparently so, yeah.
But this is the new hold me back, right? It's
Yeah.
like, I'll meet you in the tunnel.
Yeah,
And I'll pretend to sprint there, and I'll try and get
the
free.
security guard holding Devin Booker back is like when my son has had a poopy diaper and he won't change it. He wants to keep playing, and I have to
right?
I have to pull him back. You know,
Right.
he's like, no, I didn't do it. And I said, yes, you did. Come on. We go off on a great race like that.
So you're leaning towards that one because it's so weird.
It feels a little bit more. It talks to me a little more. That one, yeah.
Okay, interesting. Well, Trey, what's the answer to this? Taste your
You know, after hearing that poopy diaper analogy, I gotta go with Booker and
Yes.
Jang. Skeets, this was a parenting moment for you. That's Devin Booker. You
I
gotta
know.
get him in line, my man.
Yeah, that's my
You
guy.
abandoned your boy.
He's frustrated. He's losing a lot of games there at Phoenix. He's frustrated.
Maybe it's the headband.
Possibly. All right, when we come back, Trey and I go head-to-head in Crossfire and debate whether Dirk should compete one more time in the three-point contest. Don't go anywhere.
The Starters is presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey.
Welcome to Crossfire. Here's how it works. I'm going to give these two guys 3 questions, and at the end of it all, I will declare a winner. Here we go. Question 1. Earlier today, the New York Times' Mark Stein tweeted that Dirk Nowitzki has been invited to participate in the three-point contest at All-Star Weekend. If Dirk goes in, it will be the 6th time in the contest that he won in 2006. So should he accept? Here we go.
No, he honestly shouldn't. He's already done it 5 times. This would be his 6th, he said. He's already won it once. He's also not shooting all that great from three-point land this year, 26%.
He's
And
made more threes than twos.
Here's the real reason. If Dirk does go in this thing, then that is a telltale sign that this would be his last year. And I don't want to see that. I want Dirk back, and that's why I don't want him to go in this thing.
I want Vince Carter to try the dunk contest again, so of course I'm down with Dirk Nowitzki going into the three-point contest. Like we mentioned, he won it in 2006. The other 4 times he was in, made it to the finals, but more importantly, this gives Lee something to shoot for. Dirk is 40, Lee is 42. We have seen that Lee can't beat 20, but can he beat 40? There's only one way to find out. Dirk versus Lee in the three-point contest.
No, let's put Vince in the three-point contest, and let's put Dirk in the dunk contest, like Lucas said.
Great. I don't know what to do now. Question 2. On Monday, the Athletics' Tim Kawakami tweeted, Carmelo Anthony and Andre Iguodala are both 34, and it's possible that Iguodala's career will end up as the more valuable one. Is he right?
This is an easy one. Melo is a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. He's our generation's Dominique Wilkins. The last few seasons have been tough, no doubt, but he's going to be remembered as a legend. The guy's a 10-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA player. He led the league in scoring. He's 20th all-time in points per game. A lot of guys haven't won titles in their career. Not many have scored 25,000 points. Melo has done that.
The important part here, though, is the more valuable, right? That's the tricky part. What does that mean? Is that counting stats? Is that some sort of career satisfaction? Is it just public perception, money, hats? What is it?
Well, the hats lock it in for
Because
Melo.
what I want to know is, here, honestly, would Melo trade his career for Iguodala's because of the 3 titles and the Finals MVP? That's the curious part to me. Would he want that? Because Iguodala did have some success.
Would you?
I would want Iguodala's career, yeah, because he won.
I want to go in the Hall of Fame, baby.
Iguodala might make it.
All right. Settle down here. Question 3. Last night, Steph Curry went on The Late Show with James Corden, great show, second best show on TV, to explain his hilarious blooper from Monday's night's game against the Lakers where he slipped over on a wide open layup. Steph claimed there was a wet spot on the floor, and if it wasn't for that, he would have thrown down a 360 dunk.
Same.
Sure.
What's another famous blooper you would like to be explained? Here we go.
March 2016, Bernie, the Heat's mascot, on his birthday decides to try and set the world record for longest mascot jump, and he fails, and he just crushes Stanley C. Panther and Fun Ship Freddy. I want to know, did you guys practice this? Why did you think you could do this? Did you know that you crushed them when you got up and celebrated like you had done it? Did they sue you? Did they take legal action? A lot of questions about that.
Good luck getting an answer. He's not allowed to talk. I gotta know what happened to the woman we call Barf Lady. She puked her guts out.
I have an
at
idea.
a Hawks game not too long ago, and I need to know why. What did she eat? Did they clean it up? Why did she try and stop it with her hand? She wasn't coughing or yawning. There are a lot of ways you can puke in covert. That's not one of them. We got to get her on the show. She's from Atlanta. Maybe we can recreate it.
Wow. I'm going to give this to Trey, but you're not allowed to talk about Barf Lady ever again, okay? That's
All right, Barf Lady, come on the show and you'll be retired. But not until then.
Ray Kirby takes home Crossfire when we come back. Dennis Smith Jr. is back with the Mavericks, but does that mean he is off the trading block? We'll debate that more. Welcome back to the starters, right into the up-down report, our first one. Guys, apparently you can put the toothpaste back in the tube. I was wrong. Fresh off a 2-week self-exile while trade rumors were swirling, Dennis Smith Jr. started for the Mavericks last night. Played well, scored 17 points in a win over the Clippers. But is it enough to keep him in Dallas as the trade deadline approaches? Guys, are you up or down on Dennis Smith Jr. still being traded here by the Mavs?
Will he be traded, you mean, or being traded, you think?
Being traded.
Is he going to get dealt?
I think they are trying to showcase what he can do. And I think you saw last night what frustrates Rick Carlisle about him. Some decision-making wasn't great, some shots weren't great. But you also see what you like about him. You know, the speed, the athleticism, the ability to get out and run and push the pace. I think that's what you like. So he still needs plenty of work, but
you would hold on to him.
I would hold on to him certainly for this season, yes.
Yeah, it seemed like a showcase to me because I honestly thought that Dennis Smith had already played his last game for the Mavericks. Clearly that's not true, but to me that last night was upping his trade value. You saw him playing more by himself without Luka Doncic on the court, which I think is a way to say, look what he could do away from Luka Doncic as your lead guard. Take a look, and it worked out all right.
Yeah, and he had 4 helpers, 4 assists, I think, which is the big question with him. Can he play make for others? And he's showcasing. I think he will get dealt in the next 2 weeks. That trade deadline's coming quick.
Rick Carlisle was very glowing in his appraisal of him afterwards as well.
Exactly.
Oh, look at this guy's great. I love him on this team.
Exactly. You should have him. Are you interested in him? All right, next one here, guys. Kawhi Leonard, he's getting a few nights off here. After he was ruled out for Tuesday's game against the Kings, Raptors head coach Nick Nurse said Kawhi will also miss tonight's game against the Pacers because it's, quote, a load management thing still. Kawhi, after he misses tonight's game, will have missed 14 games. Are you guys up or down on how the Raptors are handling Kawhi and this load management? Just fun to say load management.
Yeah. They've got the most wins in the NBA. I think they're handling it pretty well. Like George Costanza or our producer Matt Austin, Raptors fans always have to be worried about something. So they're worried about this. I understand you're worried about him potentially leaving. Sure. Totally understandable. But that's the only issue at hand. Him not playing, they're playing great without.
Well, that's right. They haven't missed a beat. And when he comes back in, there's no real adjustment period either there. So when he plays, when he sits, the Raptors are just rolling along. And you have to feel that this is helping Kawhi make some sort of decision because he sees that the franchise really does have his interest at the top of their priority list.
Right. Yeah, and it's going to be important for the Raptors to be healthy come playoff time. We've seen Kyle Lowry has gotten banged up after playing through a long season. Going into the first round, he's had some knick-knack injuries here and there. Keeping your stars healthy for May and hopefully June, if you're a Raptors fan, I think is a smart move, as is doing whatever Kawhi wants. Like you're saying, the more he's getting, the more likely he'll want to stay in Toronto.
Yeah, would this be a different story if the Raptors weren't 11-2 without Kawhi Leonard in the lineup? If they were 5-6, then I think it's a much, much bigger story. But they are playing really well, and Kyle Lowry turns into a different player when Kawhi is not in the lineup. He sort of defers a lot more when Leonard's playing. But last night was a great example of him just taking control a little bit more, and it helped that he hit some shots as well. So, okay, so Raptors fans are just freaking out over nothing.
Yes.
Okay.
I think Lowry's load might have to be managed a little bit. Yeah, he plays well when Kawhi sits down, but he's also had some issues throughout the season. And as Trey said, you need him as healthy as possible if he's going to be your second option in the postseason. That's the worrisome part.
All right, final one, guys. You got to check out this very weird commercial starring a few Utah Jazz players. Take a look.
So you're a cat guy, huh?
Yeah, man. No. Somebody sent this to me.
It's okay to be a cat guy. You know, we have a lot of cat guys in France.
But bro, I'm not a cat guy.
Meow.
Fascinating Jazz commercial there. But I want to know, are you guys up or down on cats? Not the commercial. Are you up or down on cats? Are you a cat guy? It's okay to be a cat guy.
Okay to be a cat guy.
I used to not be a cat guy.
Yeah.
I really didn't like him. And then my dad got one. And me and the cat didn't get along at the start. And then we eventually got along. And he turned me. He swayed me into a cat guy.
Really?
Yeah.
One cat can change your life. That's what I've always
Shout
said.
out to Pumpkin.
But you don't have a cat. Why don't you have a cat?
It's something we're considering, yeah, but we don't have one right now.
Okay. You're trying to pick up a cat at the trade deadline?
Listen, cats
Preliminary talks.
A cat's not just for Christmas, okay? You got to keep it long term. So, I travel a lot on my way.
Never heard that.
Yeah.
Is that a saying? Cats aren't just for Christmas?
Well, I think it's usually dogs, but we can slip cats in there as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're all up on cats. Well, you have a cat, but you also don't have a cat, so why don't you have one is what I guess I'm getting.
Yeah, I've been considering it.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's
Just don't have
considering
one.
cats.
Yeah. Hey, you just don't have it for Christmas. Maybe one day, but I was like Lee. I didn't have a cat ever growing up, but then I had a girlfriend who had one for a long time. I can't remember the cat's name. It wasn't Pumpkin.
Do you remember the girlfriend's
Wasn't
name?
Feet. No.
Was it
Good
Fred?
question.
Oh, man.
Fred.
Trey, you love cats.
Oh, I love cats. Shout out to Figaro, Princess Tai, Fufu, Mr. Bojangles, Wilbur, and of course my girl Boots with the fur.
And shout out to friend cats, too. As Lee was saying. Okay, when we come back, Lily's very solid play. We gotta get some cats up in here.
Cat Mobley.
Roaming around the set. You can catch all the big finishes tonight on Crunch Time on NBA TV, getting underway at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right, we asked you, what's your favorite on-court rage moment? Luka going Hulk Hogan there last night, ripping his jersey. You hit us up on Twitter, hashtag the starters. Trey got some answers.
Yeah, some good answers. Lloyd says the Stifle Tower scaring Roz happened earlier this year. That's a great clip, for sure. Money Last says definitely T-Mac punting the basketball twice, an incredible clip. And this answer, I don't know if it was for raging, but this is my face during Crossfire, and that's some rage. Get you a belt.
Good win. It's a good battle we had. All right, tonight's pick 'em play. What a game. Hawks and Bulls. That's
a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one to pick. Trey and Lee taking the Bulls at home. Tess and I taking the Hawks on the road. All right, very solid play, Lee.
Yeah, speaking of cats, check out the NBA's best cat. It's Karl Anthony Towns here with a boomerang, ending with a swoosh. Bomb. That's what I call a very solid play.
Very solid indeed. Also solid, the signs keep coming, Lee. What we
They
got
certainly do. This is RP. First NBA game, Matty D voice, all the way from Calgary. Great job, RP. This is Brendan and Lyndall. Now, okay, they're not at an NBA game. They're at the Australian Open in Melbourne, and they say this is a very solid city. Yes, that's right. That is very true. This is the real Jonty. He and his friend forgot their fan sign at the London game, so this one will have to do. Skeetsy, I know you probably don't like that one,
No,
but
that sign sucked, bros.
this is Nick and Tracy. 2 years ago, they announced their pregnancy on the show, and 2 years later, they're pregnant again.
Wow.
Bulls fans. Yeah, not a lot of Bulls games to watch. That's probably why she's pregnant there. Oliver, Isaac, and Elliot. 3 thumbs up for a Wolves win. Huge fans of the show. And another one here, Brendan Carissa. She is pregnant with our first child. We were thinking of unique ways to publicly announce it. What better way than with the starters? I agree. The bump is real.
The starters bump
Yeah.
is
Starters
real.
baby bump.
Congratulations. Oh, you got cheese.
Wow.
Oh, jeez.
All right, that's it for us
God.
tonight. Keep the fan signs coming. 10 before 10 coming up next. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, our fans are this talented.
You got a banana in your mouth. Wasting everyone.